Hello, welcome to the second half of our show. This one, you'll notice I didn't start with Logic opened up. I'm not even going to open it up to start with. We are in the middle of building a one column binary adder, but most of this one is going to be stuff that we do outside of Logic. I'm going to make the interface, which let me see if I can start by resizing this down to just the size that I want. Ain't too bad. So I'm going to, well, maybe a little smaller just to make sure. All I need for the bits are zeros and ones. So I need images of zeros and ones. Images, give me images. And I want a really thick line. And there's all kind of brushes and stuff. You can really get creative here. Magic marker, that's my speed. And I'm going to use green and try to just draw a green zero. Well, I don't really like that. See if I can undo. Trial 2. Steady hand, steady hand. What on earth is that? I was not multiply clicking the mouse. Okay, one more time. No, maybe several more times. That is good enough. That's a 0 if ever I saw one. File, save as. The middle one is the bitmap. And what are we? I don't even know where we are here. I remember that I accidentally put the bit adder in the old workshop, one bit adder, and this is bitmap. And remember that the file name, for the 0 and 1 values for a multiple bitmap, the file names have to be identical, except one of them is a 0, the other one is a 1. So I'm going to call this bit 0. What else would I possibly call it? Bit 0. And let me see if I can undo that. I did. And change the color. We got green. How about red? And let me make a 1. Oh my goodness. Well, that's not really any straighter. You got the idea. Green blob is a 0. And this is a pitiful 1, but it will do. File, save as, bitmap. There's my 0. This is bit 1. There. Now I'm going to undo. I probably should start new files, but I'm lazy, so just undo what I did. Now I need something bigger. Let me see. That's the 0 and 1 size right there, mental note. And I need something bigger to hold an entire addition problem. And I've used red and green so far, I believe. Let me get the blue here. So across the bottom, I need a line to add stuff up. I need a plus sign. And I'm looking ahead a little bit here, but I know, whoops, let me see if I can make this even bigger. There. I'm going to need a carry in from the previous column, if you'll recall. So I'm going to do an arrow that represents the carry into this column. And after I add these up and drop something down, I'll need to carry out to the next column. I do have a vision. It looks almost like a happy face, doesn't it? This is save as. This is going to be the background for the zeros and ones, but it doesn't need to be a 0 or 1 image because I want this to be on the Logic screen all the time. Add. I'll just call it add bitmap. There. Now I might need other bitmaps, and if I do, I'll come back over here, but this will do for now. Gone. Now I need some Logic, MMLOGIC, and I've already got a file. I don't need to a fresh window. Open, adder demo circuits. That's what I had. Let me make sure it didn't break. Actually, it did break. There was a wire missing. I don't know which one I forgot to jiggle, but I did. And I went back and fixed it between videos, so I didn't have to drag you through it. You're welcome. I'm not checking those again. I'm just looking to see if the lights work at all. I'll check it when I get the whole interface up here. What does that mean? Well, I'm still going to need this sum. Ain't going to need no LED no more. Cut. I'm still going to need the C out. Actually, the sum is going to be down here at the bottom, and the C out will be going over to the next column. Getting ready here. Position those. Selected. Cut. Now, bring in the math problem. Not open. This is a bitmap image. So I drop a bitmap image here and select it and right click it. Properties. And I think my name, oh my goodness, I can't remember. I think the name was add. I should just keep this window open back here. Old workshop, MM Logic, no, one bit adder. There it is, add.bmp. Okay, back to the drawing board, almost literally. Don't. That sounds like me talking to my dogs. Don't browse to the image. If you do that, I can't run your project and you won't get a good grade and I won't be happy and you won't be happy. Don't do that. Type it in, add.bmp. There, oh, well, that's not very happy looking, is it? That is way too big. Back to the drawing board again. Where do we go? Open in Paint. That's not an option. Paint. File, open, and yes, very much this is trial and error. You are too big for your britches edition. So rather than do this, remember this just chops it down to size. I don't want to do that. That's horrible. I want to resize, and I think 50% is going to be big enough. When you change one, it changes the other. That's too little. Resize again. Well, I think it's too little, but I'm not sure. Resize. Let's go up 125. Let me try that. I might as well just leave Paint open because my guess is I'll be coming back here on multiple occasions. Right click on this again, properties. There. Yeah, you know, that's a little, if I move it around, maybe it will work. We'll just make it work. I think that might work. And I do have to have this on here first. If you have a background, whether it's a solid color background or a drawn background like this, you've got to dump that on your where I lost my receiver. You've got to dump that on your Logic screen first. If you wait and dump it on later, then it will cover up everything that you put before. So now I can drop zeros and ones on top of this, and this will always be in the background. So that's why I got to do the background first. Now, what else will I need? I need bits, don't I? So let me get some more bitmaps. I'll need a carry in, and I'll need an A and B, and a sum, and a carry out. And for now, you'll notice I can't switch those. I don't have any wires to connect to down here. I'm going to see, this is the first time I'm doing it this way. I'm going to just leave it a single, but type in my bit 0 bitmap so I can position these because I'm so clever. Or if it doesn't work, then perhaps I'm not. Oh, of course that's way too big. Back to the Paint, and I left it open. What foresight I have. File, open. Let's get to 0. You're too big. Resize. Down 60%. We'll try that. If we're going to do that one 60% and then save, then we better do the one 60%. File, open. 1. You're too big too, I betcha. Resize 60%. There. I told you most of the work on this one is going to be, did I say that? I forgot. Most of it is outside MM-Logic. This is getting the stuff all nice and neat and looking on the screen. Click, right click, properties. I don't know that I have to do this, but this seems to work. Read it again. There. We might be able to make that work. That might not be horribly too big. I don't know if I'm going to be able to fit 2 here. Well, I'll try it. I might as well try it. Properties. Type it in, don't browse bit 0.bmp. That's awful big. It just barely fits. What about you? Properties. bit 0.bmp. Yeah, that's a little bit too big. Back to paint. I'm sorry. I'll have to resize the one as well. Resize. They're not drawn to scale. It looks smaller in paint than it does in MMLogic, doesn't it? Let's make this 75% of what it was before. That ought to do it. Save. File. Open. File. Open. The 0, I'll also need to 75% that. Resize. This is real work here, and the way you can tell is it's not right the first time. It's not going to be right the first time. A lot of computer science is trial and error. Make it work, and you do whatever you can think of. That better be okay. Even if it's not, I'm gonna no. If it's not, I'll fix it. I was just kidding. Okay. There, those all fit gorgeously. I bet the 0 is going to be too big to fit on the screen, but it's also, for now, at least, bit 0 dot BMP. Yeah, that's a close call. Maybe if I move my addition problem just a little bit. Hush. Stop that. I'm not right-clicking on anything. Okay. This one, I got to give it properties. This one is going to be okay anywhere. This doesn't need any adjustment. But bit 0, I'm doing this just so I can see where things fall on the screen and if they're the right size and everything. Here's the plan. This is going to be the carry in bit over here. This is going to be the top bit, also known as A. Bottom bit, also known as B. This is the sum, so I need to connect that to the sum. And this is C out, which will be the C out bit. Lots and lots of connecting to do. And I had no foresight because I didn't put nodes over here. And I don't want to do receivers on the same page. So here's what I'm going to do. Tell you what I'm going to do. Get these things out of the way and do what I should have done a long time ago. Drop nodes over here. Node for you, node for you, node for you. Connect the wires. One moment, please. There's wire 1. Excuse me, wire A, wire B, wire C in. Why? Why do I need to do that? Well, I need the 0 and 1 over here for each one of these to change. This right here, this is A, so I need to connect this to A. Properties. Now it's going to be multiple. And notice I use bit 0, and it's going to find bit 1 automatically, or at least that's the plan. Okay, and you can only connect, zoom in, you can only connect to the bottom wire, the 0 wire, if you want it to work correctly. So here goes the 0 wire. Now that should flip back and forth to 0 or 1 depending on switch A. Got to do the same. That doesn't even look right. That's so big. Okay, that's right. Here's B. I need to change you so that you can accept multiple inputs. And you'll be bit 0 sometimes and bit 1 the other times. I need to connect you to B. I hope you can see what's going on all zoomed in like this. I'll zoom out after I get just the inputs connected. There. And one more. Oh, this is going to be the challenge. Across the screen. Here we go. CN is way over here. This is the CN bit from the previous column. Right-click properties. Multiple robot playground. That sounds like fun, doesn't it? I don't even know what that does. It's probably better that I don't. That should be the CN. I don't know. I don't know if we can get there from here. Wire. And I'm just going to hold down the right mouse button, no, the left mouse button, and hope that it scrolls. It's scrolling. Scroll, scroll, scroll up. There it is. I did it. I think I did. Please, oh please, the first time. No. Okay, let's go from 0 back to the input. Scroll, scroll. if you move them, if you hold down the mouse and you scroll to the edge of the page, I mean, you don't scroll, but you move over to the edge of the page and it'll scroll along with you. I hope that made sense. There. Now, what this should be is, I'll show you what this should be. I'll save this. File, save as. This is circuits and also the interface, interface. I don't know if I got to jiggle these around or not, but I am not going to risk it. I once bitten, twice shy. There. And put them right back where they were, but I don't want these wires to disappear. It's too much trouble to get them to show up. Now, here we go. Watch what happens when I click run. Oh, they're all zeros. Why? Because none of the switches are. Let's do CN. That should be this one. Watch. There. What about B? That's the bottom bit. What about A? That's the top bit. Ladies and gentlemen, we have all the inputs working for an addition problem. It just ain't doing any addition. The sum bit is staying 0 and the carry out bit is staying 0. So that ain't quite right. Stop it. Now, all I got to do, notice I haven't even looked at the circuits. I debugged the circuits in the last video. That's old news. So I got to select, right click, properties, make you multiple so that you can connect. And you, find bitmap, are the, what are you? You are the C out bit. So I got to connect you to this receiver up here. That's a C out that's being sent from page 3, if I recall. Okay, and this one. You know what? That looks like we're about off the screen. One moment, please. View, let me make this taller. Grid settings, how about 700? There, that's more than tall enough. Now a wire. Oh, I'm not ready for a wire. I got to make this multiple input. Properties, and you'll see that when I make it multiple input, the image itself disappears. That's because it doesn't know whether it's supposed to be a 0 or a 1 yet. I can leave it bitmap 0 because it's going to be 0 or 1. It shrinks it back down to a bitmap, and it will only show a 0 or 1 after it's got a 0 or 1 coming into it. You knew that. You also knew that I'm horrible with the mouse. Huh? No one feels worse about it than I do, let me tell you. There. I did it. Okay. That barely, even if it does, fits on the screen. Save. Okay, cross your fingers. Think pleasant thoughts. 1 plus 0 plus 0 is 1. I believe that's correct. 1 plus 0 plus 1 is 2, but that's a 0 carry a 1. 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 3. That's a 1 carry a 1. 0 plus 1 plus 1 is 2. Put a 0 carry a 1. And you can flip through all these switches, or I could flip through all these switches. Let me do that. You watch, and if you want, you can run this slowly and double check me. Maybe it's better if I even shrink that. Is it easier to see that way? Now then, I'm going to go through all possible switch settings one at a time, and you can check and make sure that it's doing the math right. That look right to you? Looks right to me, except it's too big. But anyway, I shall declare victory and retreat as soon as I be a good role model and put our texts up here. This needs to say what it is. Properties, and I'm going, not in this video, but I'm going to rename it file adder demo .lgi. The reason that I say I'm adding it different, if you recall, I'm doing some versioning up here. I don't want to erase older version that works, so I keep adding to the file name and adding to the file name. If you don't believe me, look at this. Oh, well, I got rid of most of them. I was working on something else yesterday, and I got up to version 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that's what was going on. I was saving the old version that worked before I changed it into something else. And with disappearing wires, that's a good idea. I'm R England, and this is CS 1124. I might not be putting the right things according to the documentation standards in your assignments, but I still got to have something here. Self-explanatory. This add a LUMN of beds. And I didn't put the spaces. One last thing. I'm almost done. We ask that you bear with us. Did you hear that? That was Darby shaking it off. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, I think we have us a one-bit adder. And there you have it. We run it one more time. Yeah, still runs. It didn't break it. And just so you can see, the circuits, they're still there. They're just in the background. It's almost like we got a clock or something now, because we see the face of the clock here and the workings, the inner workings that make it do what it's supposed to do. Those are hidden. Those are behind the scenes on page 1 and 2. The end. Stop running. I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. Okay. I'll see you tomorrow. Stop.